I've played thousands of board games, and in this episode, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 board games of all time. I play so many games, my wife thinks I've got a problem.
Steve, what are you doing?
It's not what it looks like! Number 10, Keyflower. This pseudo tiling auction game is an absolute banger. This game is so underappreciated when it comes to the two-player only experience. It is so tactile and mean, and every single tile is contested, and I just absolutely love playing it as a two-player game. I know other people will say it's not the best way to play, but for me, I get the most out of it when playing with two players only. You have to be really tactile with your meeples, and it's really important to keep an eye on what colour your opponent is taking, because if you see an absolutely juicy tile up for auction and you know you can grab it for cheap by just playing one yellow because your opponent only has one single yellow, then you can get the deal of an absolute lifetime. I love that this game seems like it's a lovely, cozy village builder game, which it is, but on top of that, it's kind of mean and you can kind of be a dick, and I absolutely love that. I love it when Eurogames have got high interaction, and this game has got absolute bags of it. You can be mean, but you can also be kind of nice. So if I want to use a tile in my opponent's village, I can, but I'm effectively giving them a meeple by doing that, which is a free turn in the next round. And I just love that. So this game has the perfect balance of positive and negative interaction. Number 9, Lorenzo il Magnifico. To me, this is Simone Luciani's greatest design. It's a worker placement / dice placement game in which you're trying to score the most points possible. It also has a huge element of engine building, because in this game, resources are incredibly tight. It is so hard to get what you need and turn it into those beautiful, beautiful points. And this is what Luciani is absolutely brilliant at doing, making a game super tight, super engaging, and really, really quite difficult to play. But because of that, when you have a good game of this, it just feels so good. You feel so proud of yourself, and you just look at what you've built and you know how difficult it was to get there, and it just makes you beam with the biggest smile possible. And every single time I play it, I always make sure to use the expansion because it gives players individual player powers, and some of them are just straight up broken. My favourite is always the one where you get an extra worker, because you're literally taking 25% more actions than everybody else for the rest of the game. It sounds overpowered, but honestly, every single power is completely broken if you manage to use it correctly. In a two-player game, this is one of the tightest board games you can play, because some of the most important spaces in which you need to run your engine can only be taken by one player once per round. And oh my god, does this make this game disgustingly tight. You have to make sure you time your actions perfectly while looking at what the other person is doing so you don't get screwed over. It is so easy to get screwed over in this game, so it means you have to constantly keep an eye on what the other player is doing. And I just love that so much, because Euros can tend to be dry and doing your own puzzle, but with Lorenzo you really have to keep an eye on your pesky opponent, otherwise they'll sneak in, steal your whole turn, you won't have enough to be able to move up to the cathedral, and you'll end up losing like 20 points, and you feel absolutely miserable when that happens. My god, I absolutely love this game. It is an absolute banger, and easily, in my opinion, the best game he has designed. Number 8, Spirit Island. I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million more. Spirit Island is the best cooperative experience you will ever have. There is nothing quite like playing a badass spirit whose job is to destroy those pesky colonizing who come in and try and take over your paradise. This game is just unbelievably thematic and fun. But the best thing about this game is how truly cooperative it is. You have to depend on your teammates more than any other game I have ever played. Not many games can get the cooperative nature of actually working together right, and Spirit Island does this better than any other game. The last time I played this game, I played as the Sea Spirit and my wife was the River Spirit, and she got all of the baddies to go into the river, brought them to the ocean, and I just drowned them all. It was so satisfying and thematic, and we kicked those colonizing arses, and it was just, one of the best gaming experiences I've had in a hot minute. It's just so good. And when you're talking about replayability, forget about it.
No odds. Forget about it.
You've got so many spirits, it is unbelievable. From being a nightmare that scares people, to being a mist spirit, to being a rock that defends everyone, to being a bloody volcano. It's just absolutely unbelievable. If you can think of a spirit, it probably exists in the game. Not many games can come close to what Spirit Island has to offer, and it is easily, for me, the greatest cooperative game ever designed, and one of the best games ever made. I could literally go on about this game forever, but I'm going to stop now and go to my next one, which is number 7, Lisboa. I only got this game a couple of months ago, and my god, has it shot up in my ranks. This game is absolutely unbelievable, and after I played it more and more and more, I can imagine it climbing higher and higher and higher on my top 10 list. This is easily the heaviest game I have ever played. It's not the most complicated game I've played, but it is easily the most complex. The amount of options you have from playing a single card is absolutely insane. Vita Lacerta manages to combine mechanisms and makes everything connect in a way which other designers are just not capable of doing. He has a magic touch on games, and for me, out of all of the games that I've played of his, this one does it the absolute finest. Everything about this game is absolutely stunning. From the wonderful art from Ian O'Toole to the complex interconnecting mechanisms that makes this game feel like something absolutely defining when it comes to board game mechanisms. It is truly one of the most interesting games I have ever played. Number 6, Ra, my favourite auction game of all time, made by one of my favourite designers of all time, Reiner Knizia. And when it comes to auction games, as far as I'm concerned, the tighter the economy, the better the game. And because this has got a closed economy, you know what you're dealing with and not much is going to change, and it makes the game absolutely wonderfully painful. This game is packed full of unbelievable decision making and an easy way to play. It is absolutely delightful because every single auction you're trying to win, you're not only trying to race against opponents to stop yourself from scoring negative, you're thinking about endgame scoring, and you're thinking about what bidding tile you're going to get next. All the while trying to push your luck to see if you can get that one extra thing before the round can end. And oh my god, it is just so satisfying to play. I think I've just said oh my god about 8 times. That shows you how good this game is. The push your luck aspect in this game is absolutely wonderful. You're always just like in your head, just one more. And I do it often where it ends up coming to bite me in the butt. Oh, I absolutely love Ra. And the first few times I played it, I really bounced off it. But once I understood the mechanics and actually how much hidden depth is in the game, I love how Reiner Knizia makes games so easy to play, but have so much depth and decision making. And for me, this is the greatest game he has ever designed. Number 5, El Grande. On your turn, you're playing a card and putting some meeples out, and that's pretty much it. It's a super easy game to play, but the amount of complexity it has round to round is absolutely wonderful. And every single action that is up for taking feels overpowered. So anytime you take a turn, you always feel like you're winning, but at the same time, losing as well. Not many other games can get this balance right, where every single card is absolutely disgusting. I absolutely love that about this game, because it feels like you're always doing an amazing action, and then your opponent goes after you, and then it feels like they've taken a better action than you've done. And the way that the Castell works in this game is absolutely beautiful, because it adds a little bit of uncertainty in a game in which you pretty much know what's going to happen. So having that little bit of randomness really adds to the tension when it comes to the scoring rounds. I absolutely love playing this game at 5. I truly believe it's the best 5-player game ever made. So to get the most out of El Grande, you really want to play it at max player count. But the new version has made it a lot tighter, so even with up to 3 or 4 players, it's still a really good game. It's not at its best when it's at those player counts, but it's still really fun. If you're looking for a 5-player game with tons of strategy and equal amounts of tactile decisions, then this is the game that you're looking for. Number 4. 5 tribes. The right thing to do in this situation would have been to make 5 tribes 5, and then I could have went number 5 tribes. Steve, you should have thought about that. I can't though. This Mancala game is all about chaining actions and trying to score as many points as possible. And because you have to bid for turn order, it makes the game work so well in a 2-player game, because on each round you get 2 turns. So you can time it so you can get up to 4 actions in a row in this game and do some absolute bonkers stuff. This game is all about finding what broken strategy is available and trying to make the most of it. There's just so many different ways to score in this game, and depending what's out will depend on how you play. But because of that, the amount of AP in this game is absolutely insane. I don't think I've played a game that has more AP in it than this one. I've literally watched a full season of 24 watching Jack Bauer kick ass while my wife takes half a turn. It's honestly that bad.
I'm gonna need a hacksaw.
But if you're willing to sit through that, you are literally in for the time of your life. This game is an absolute joy to play, and the tactile decision making that you get to make every single turn, just not many other games can make you feel as smart as this one, especially when you see something your opponent hasn't seen and you sneak in there and end up scoring a bajillion points, because it's quite easy in this game to score upwards of 300 points if you know what you're doing. Easily one of the greatest design games ever, and it's my wife's favorite game of all time, and she kicks my ass on it 90% of the time, but it does not stop me coming back for more. Number 3, Lost Runes of Arnak. Lost Runes of Arnak is a worker placement deck builder in which you're exploring runes, fighting monsters, and you got it, climbing those delicious tracks for points. And what do points make? Points make prizes. A Brucey!
Nice to see you.
From the unbelievable artwork, to the tight mechanics and economy, to the fact that it's almost impossible to get resources, and at the start of your game you're like, how the hell am I going to get up those tracks? What am I supposed to do? But then somehow, by the magic of the game mechanics, by the end of it you feel really strong and powerful, and you're taking way more turns than you feel is possible. You've got a handful of amazing cards. It just feels so good to play. And again, this is one I love to play with the expansion that gives you special player abilities, because it makes every game different and you can go for completely different ways to play the game that you would normally do, because each character gives you something where you can break the game a little bit. It plays better than it looks. And if you've seen this game, you know that is saying something. If you're looking for an amazing deck builder with worker placement elements, look no further than Lost Runes of Arnak. It is in my top 3 for a reason. Number 2, 1960, The Making of the President. Why does nobody talk about this game? It's always Twilight Struggle this, Twilight Struggle that. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Twilight Struggle can take a long walk off a short pier. Nah, I'm just kidding. Twilight Struggle is actually a pretty good game, but this, in my opinion, takes everything good about Twilight Struggle and distills it into a faster, more action-packed, easier to play game that has a far more interesting theme. I absolutely love this game. It is the best area control game I have ever played in my life, and it is easily one of the most thematic, enjoyable games I have ever played. I recently watched an amazing YouTube video essay called Metaphors as Mechanisms. This video, created by Amabel Holland, is honestly an absolute game changer, and it's quite literally changed the way that I look at playing games, but more so this game than any other. I'll stick a link in the description below, but if you want more from your games, then take the time to watch this video because it's absolutely genius. It really is an incredible video that completely blew me away. This whole game is about trying to win the election, and you either play it as Nixon or Kennedy, and every single decision you make is so painful, and every single card you play is so painful, and every single card your opponent plays is so painful. Not only that, if you don't play a card as an event and your opponent has the ability to do so, they can then play that card after you've played it, which makes this game the most infuriating game you have ever played. I can guarantee if and when you play this game, you are going to get mad. You're going to get your 6 cards at the start of the round, you're going to look at your cards and you're going to go, oh my god, they can play this card, they can play this card, they can play this card. I am royally screwed. But it adds so much tactile nature to this amazing strategic game because yes, they can play those cards, but they have to spend a token to do so. And if you play those cards in the right order, you can make some of those cards null and void. I love how invested I get in this game. The fact that the game makes me angry just means and shows how much I actually care about this game. It is just so much fun. And honestly, after watching that video, which I've just talked about before, it's completely changed how I look and how I play this game, and it's added so much richness to it. It's literally jumped from being in the higher end of my top 10 to being my second favourite game of all time. It's just an absolute blinder. Number 1, A Feast for Odin, and Agricola, and Caverna, and Fields of All. Okay, so I'm gonna be straight with you here. I didn't want 5 of my top favourite games to all be worker placement games in which you're farming. But my favourite games of all time are Uwe Rosenberg worker placement games in which you're building a farm or making a Viking feast and doing the same thing where you're feeding your family and whatnot. So I've just lumped them all into one. But out of all of the games, I think Feast for Odin is slightly better. But at any given time, I prefer any one of the 4 designs that I've just said more than pretty much any other game. Agricola is just raw and tight and brutal. Caverna is the more open, fun version of it. Fields of Arle is just the way that the 2 cycles work is just absolutely wonderful. And finally, A Feast for Odin just takes all of those parts, adds in tile laying, dials it up to 10, and makes it for me the best board gaming experience of all time. The amount of different ways I've played and won this game is absolutely unbelievable. And every single time I play this game, I find something new that makes me fall in love with it again. I love Uwe so much. He is literally my homeboy, and I am the biggest fanboy ever. And his games just speak to me in a way that other games just don't. So honestly, Feast for Odin is my number 1, but the other games that I've just mentioned, Agricola, Caverna, and Fields of Arle, are almost as good. But like I say, I don't want to just stick all of his games as my number 1, 2, 3, and 4, because that would just be boring. And the games, let's be honest, are really similar, and it's almost like he's taken that design and turned it on his head and created something new. And that's it. Thank you so much. Oops. Remember to click the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later on. I'm Bored with Steve. Laters on the manjay.